Scientist and the Poet by D.C. King Hale. The scientist and the poet both advance by a series of imaginative leaps, and the mark of the genius is that he looks on man or nature in a new way, which may excite opposition, as with Charles Darwin or Wordsworth, but which in the long run comes to seem inevitable and logical. Almost all scientists who have written about scientific creation agree that the most unusual mechanism is: first, a problem is thought about rationally and unsuccessfully; second, it is set aside and allowed to rest in the unconscious, so to speak; third, after a time, days or weeks perhaps, and with luck, the unconscious comes up with a solution, usually at a quite unexpected time and place. W.I.B. Beveridge has quoted many such examples in his book on the art of scientific investigation. Similarly, a poet has a slightly unusual experience and stores it in his unconscious. Then, some time later, with luck, it erupts from his unconscious in poetic form. Poetry takes its origin from emotion recollected in frequency. As Wordsworth remarked, it is, of course, possible to do scientific work or write verse without imaginative flashes. But real advance in science and the best poems seem to be depend on such unconscious aid. Scientists and poets both value these intuition or inspiration highly. The really valuable factor is intuition, said Einstein. What the imagination sees as beauty must be truth, said Keats. But the scientist puts his intuition to a severe test. Does it really fit the facts? Sometimes it does not, and is abandoned. The poet, on the other hand, must assume that his inspiration is valuable, and even when the poem is finished, he can rarely be sure. Poets are usually bad judges of the relative merit of their own poems. Another apparent difference between the two is that the poet operates on material coming to him largely by chance, whereas the scientists think about a chosen problem. But this distinction cannot be maintained because chance has figured so largely in so many scientific discoveries, and because poets sometimes deliberately seek suitable experiences. Finally, another resemblance between poet and scientist is their professional pride in beauty of form. The poet's aim is to present his ideas in the most effective and appealing form of words, just as the physicist seeks the neatest experiment which will serve his purpose, and the mathematician strives to develop his theories in the most elegant manner. Beauty is the first test. There is no permanent place in the world for ugly mathematics, wrote G. H. Hardy in A Mathematician's Apology. The experiment or poem may, it is true, be beautiful yet empty, but this is a danger which must be